Imagine a world where the quietest people, the ones who often sit at the back of the room, observing, reflecting, and analyzing, suddenly take center stage not by force, but by the sheer gravity of their inner worlds. These aren't the loudest voices, the most extroverted personalities, or the ones who dominate conversations. They are the intuitive introverts, the people Carl Jung described as introverted intuitives, and their time has come. But what does it mean to be an intuitive introvert? And how could this rise transform not just the individual but the entire fabric of society? We've been told that success belongs to the loud, the outgoing, and the assertive. To thrive in this world, you need to be bold, seen, and heard. But what if I told you that this narrative is incomplete? What if I told you that some of the most profound thinkers, creators, and leaders in history were intuitive introverts? People like Nikola Tesla, Emily Dickinson, and even Carl Jung himself, the man whose work we're diving into today. To understand why their rise matters, you first have to understand the psychology behind it.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Carl Jung, in his groundbreaking work, described introverted intuitives as individuals who are deeply focused on the inner world of ideas, images, and unconscious connections. He said, "The intuitive perception is not directed upon external facts, but rather upon the background of facts, upon their inherent possibilities, in a way that is hard to describe in other words. These individuals see what others do not. They sense patterns, possibilities, and futures that are invisible to the surface-level observer. But here's the catch: this gift often isolates them. They see the world differently, and because of this, they often feel like outsiders. Does that sound like you? If it does, you're not alone. Jung believed that intuitive introverts are rare. Unlike extroverts who draw energy from the external world, introverts turn inward, and intuitive types specifically are drawn to the abstract, the symbolic, and the mysterious. They are more interested in exploring the depths of the psyche than navigating the shallow waters of small talk. This inward focus, however, doesn't mean they are disconnected from the world. In fact, it's the opposite. They are deeply connected, but in ways that are often invisible to others. Jung explained, who looks outside, dreams who looks inside, awakes, and this awakening, this inward journey, is what sets intuitive introverts apart. But why is their rise happening now? Why, at this very moment, are intuitive introverts finding their voice, their power, and their purpose? To answer this, we need to look at the state of the world. We live in a time of noise, constant notifications, endless scrolling, and a culture that rewards superficiality over depth. The louder you are, the more attention you get. But here's the thing: people are exhausted. They're searching for something real, something meaningful. And this is where intuitive introverts come in. Their quiet strength, their ability to see beyond the surface, and their willingness to explore the unknown offer an antidote to the chaos of modern life. Jung believed that every individual has a role to play in the collective psyche. He wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." This transformation is what intuitive introverts bring to the table. They challenge us to think deeper, to question assumptions, and to explore the uncharted territories of our own minds. But this isn't just about intellectual exploration. It's about survival. In a world that is rapidly changing technologically, socially, and environmentally, intuitive introverts are uniquely equipped to navigate the unknown. Their ability to anticipate change, to sense what's coming, and to adapt is their superpower. But let's be honest, being an intuitive introvert isn't easy. Jung himself acknowledged this when he said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, And for intuitive introverts, this journey of self-discovery can be particularly challenging. They often struggle with feeling misunderstood, undervalued, or even invisible. Their ideas may be dismissed as too abstract or impractical. Their quiet nature may be mistaken for shyness or aloofness. But here's the truth: their strength lies in their authenticity. The more they embrace who they are, the more they can contribute to the world in ways that no one else can. So, what can we learn from this? If you identify as an intuitive introvert, know this: your ability to see what others don't is your gift. Your capacity to think deeply, to question, and to imagine is your strength. But it's not enough to stay in your inner world. Jung believed that true individuation, the process of becoming who you are, requires integrating your inner and outer worlds. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." This means stepping out of your comfort zone, sharing your insights, and engaging with the world. It's not about becoming someone you're not. It's about bringing your true self into the world. And here's the practical part: start small. If you're an intuitive introvert, you don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Begin by carving out time for introspection. Journaling, meditation, or even just sitting in silence can help you connect with your inner world. But don't stop there. Share what you discover. Whether it's through writing, art, or conversation, find a way to express your ideas. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. Seek out like-minded individuals who understand and appreciate your perspective. Jung believed in the power of community. Writing, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around one, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important." The rise of intuitive introverts isn't about creating a new hierarchy. It's about balance. It's about recognizing that in a world dominated by extroverted values, there is immense power in introversion. It's about understanding that the answers to our biggest questions about life, meaning, and purpose often lie within. And it's about celebrating the diversity of thought, personality, and experience that makes us human. So, here's the question: are you ready to embrace your inner world? Are you ready to step into your power as an intuitive introvert? Because the world needs you now more than ever. Your ideas, your insights, your vision, they matter. And when you begin to share them, you might just find that the world has been waiting for you all along. If you're still here, something about this resonates with you. Maybe because you see yourself in these words, or maybe because you know someone who fits the description of an intuitive introvert. But let's go deeper. Let's explore not just who intuitive introverts are, but why they're rising now and what their role might be in shaping the future. To do this, we need to understand the profound psychological dynamics at play, and more importantly, how these dynamics can be harnessed to unlock potential not just for intuitive introverts, but for society as a whole. Carl Jung believed that every personality type has a purpose, a reason for being. He explained, as far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. For intuitive introverts, that light is their ability to connect seemingly unrelated ideas, to see the invisible threads that weave through reality, and to illuminate paths that others might overlook. But this isn't just a passive gift, it's an active responsibility. And here's why: in every era of history, there comes a time when the dominant way of thinking no longer works. When the challenges we face can't be solved with the same mindset that created them. But when innovation, creativity, and depth are required to move forward, that time is now. Think about it. We live in a world that is increasingly complex. Technology advances at an exponential rate, reshaping how we live, work, and interact. Social structures are shifting, challenging long-held beliefs and traditions. and the planet itself is demanding our attention as environmental crises force us to confront the consequences of our actions. In this chaos, the intuitive introvert thrives not because they have all the answers, but because they are willing to ask the questions that others avoid. Jung wrote, "The greatest and most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved, but only outgrown. This idea that growth, not solutions, is the key aligns perfectly with the intuitive introvert's approach to life." But let's be real, growth isn't easy. For intuitive introverts, the journey often begins with struggle. They may feel out of step with the world around them, as if they are speaking a language that no one else understands. Their ideas may be dismissed as impractical or overly abstract. Their quiet demeanor may be overlooked in a culture that rewards boldness and charisma. This can lead to self-doubt, frustration, and even isolation. Jung himself acknowledged this, saying, "Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. But here's the thing, it's in this darkness, in this struggle, that the seeds of transformation are planted." Let's talk about practical steps. If you are an intuitive introvert, how do you navigate a world that often feels at odds with your nature? How do you transform your inner vision into outer action? The first step is self-awareness. Jung believed that understanding yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your tendencies, is the foundation of growth. He said, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." This means taking the time to reflect on your experiences, your thoughts, and your emotions. It means recognizing the patterns in your life and understanding how they shape your behavior, and it means embracing who you are without judgment or comparison. But self-awareness is just the beginning. The next step is self-expression. For intuitive introverts, this can be particularly challenging. They may worry that their ideas won't be understood or appreciated. They may fear rejection or criticism. But here's the truth: the world needs your voice. Jung wrote, "A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them." This isn't just about expressing your ideas, it's about confronting your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. It's about stepping into the inferno and coming out stronger on the other side. One way to do this is through creativity. Intuitive introverts often have a natural inclination toward art, writing, music, or other forms of creative expression. These outlets allow them to communicate their inner world in ways that words alone cannot capture. But creativity doesn't have to be confined to traditional forms of art. Problem-solving, innovation, and entrepreneurship can also be deeply creative endeavors. The key is to find a medium that resonates with you, one that allows you to bring your inner vision into the outer world. Another way to express yourself is through connection. While intuitive introverts may prefer solitude, they also crave deep, meaningful relationships. They value quality over quantity when it comes to social interactions. Jung believed that relationships are a crucial part of individuation, the process of becoming your true self. He said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." This means that by sharing your thoughts, ideas, and experiences with others, you not only enrich their lives but also your own. But let's not romanticize this journey. The rise of the intuitive introvert is not about escaping the challenges of life. It's about facing them head-on. It's about recognizing that your unique perspective is not a liability but an asset. It's about understanding that the very qualities that make you feel different are the same qualities that make you valuable. Jung wrote, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. This is a reminder that your path will be uniquely yours." There is no one-size-fits-all approach to life, and that's okay. So, where does this leave us? The rise of the intuitive introvert is not just a personal journey, it's a collective shift. It's a recognition that the world needs balance, that the extroverted values of action, achievement, and outward success must be complemented by the introverted values of reflection, imagination, and inner growth. It's a call to embrace diversity not just in terms of personality, but in terms of thought, perspective, and experience. And it's an invitation to step into your power, not by imitating others, but by becoming more fully yourself. As we move forward, remember this: the rise of the intuitive introvert is not about dominance. It's about harmony. It's about creating a world where every voice, every perspective, every personality type has a place. And it starts with you. Your journey, your growth, your self-expression, it all matters. Because when you embrace who you are, you give others permission to do the same. Let's keep going. Now that we've explored the depth of what it means to be an intuitive introvert and why their rise is happening, it's time to push even further. What does this rising tide mean for the world at large? How can you, as an intuitive introvert or someone who resonates with these ideas, leverage this shift not just for personal growth but to create real, lasting change in the world? This is where we connect the personal to the universal, the individual journey to the collective destiny. Carl Jung had a profound understanding of how individual transformation ripples outward into society. He wrote, "The world will ask you who you are, and if you do not know, the world will tell you." This is the ultimate challenge for intuitive introverts, to define themselves before the world defines them. But here's the beauty of it: when intuitive introverts embrace their true nature, they don't just change themselves, they change the world around them. Their ideas, their insights, and their way of being have a magnetic quality. They draw people in, not through loudness, but through authenticity. And in a world starving for authenticity, this is a kind of superpower. Think about the problems we face today: environmental crises, social inequality, political polarization, and the pervasive sense of emptiness that comes from a life lived on the surface. These are not problems that can be solved with quick fixes or superficial solutions. They require depth. They require imagination. They require the kind of thinking that intuitive introverts excel at. Jung himself believed that the answers to our greatest challenges lie within. He said, "We cannot change anything unless we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses." This idea that acceptance, not resistance, is the first step toward change is a cornerstone of the intuitive introvert's approach to life. But let's get practical. How can intuitive introverts contribute to solving these problems? The first step is to own their unique way of thinking. Too often, intuitive introverts doubt themselves because their ideas don't fit into conventional frameworks. They may feel like outsiders in their workplaces, their communities, or even their families. But this outsider status is precisely what gives them their perspective. Jung wrote, "In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order." Intuitive introverts have the ability to see this secret order, to find patterns and possibilities in the midst of chaos. The challenge is to trust this ability, even when others don't see it yet. One way to do this is by finding your zone of genius. This is the area where your natural talents align with your passions and values. For intuitive introverts, this often involves work that requires deep thinking, creativity, or problem solving. It might be in fields like science, art, writing, psychology, or entrepreneurship. But it doesn't have to be limited to traditional career paths. Your zone of genius could be in how you raise your children, how you build relationships, or how you contribute to your community. The key is to find what lights you up and lean into it fully. And here's something important: you don't have to do it alone. While intuitive introverts often thrive in solitude, Jung believed that true growth comes from connection. He said, "A dream that is not understood remains a mere occurrence understood. It becomes a living experience. In other words, your ideas, your dreams, and your insights need to be shared to come alive." This doesn't mean shouting them from the rooftops. Remember, your strength is in your depth, not your volume. But it does mean finding people who resonate with your vision, who can help you refine it, and who can amplify it in ways you might not be able to on your own. This brings us to the concept of collaboration. While the stereotype of the introvert is someone who prefers to work alone, the truth is that intuitive introverts often make incredible collaborators. Why? Because they bring something unique to the table: the ability to see the big picture, to anticipate challenges, and to come up with innovative solutions. Jung believed that collaboration is a powerful tool for growth. He wrote, "The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases." This means that by working with others, especially those who have different strengths, you can create something far greater than what you could achieve on your own. But let's not forget the inner journey. While intuitive introverts have a lot to offer the world, their primary responsibility is to themselves. Jung believed that the process of individuation, becoming your true self, is the most important work anyone can do. He said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. This isn't just about self-discovery, it's about self-actualization. It's about taking what you've learned about yourself and using it to create a life that feels authentic and aligned." For intuitive introverts, this often means carving out time for introspection, for exploring their inner world, and for connecting with their intuition. One practical way to do this is through mindfulness practices. Whether it's meditation, journaling, or simply spending time in nature, these practices can help you tune into your inner voice and reconnect with your core self. Jung wrote, "The pendulum of the mind oscillates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong." This is a reminder that your thoughts and feelings don't have to make sense to anyone else. They are valid simply because they are yours. The more you honor them, the more you will uncover the truth of who you are. And here's the ultimate truth: the rise of the intuitive introvert is not just about the individual, it's about the collective. It's about creating a world where depth is valued as much as breadth, where reflection is seen as a strength, and where every person has the freedom to be themselves. Jung believed that this kind of transformation starts with the individual but spreads outward. He wrote, "The psyche is the greatest of all cosmic wonders and the sine qua non of the world as an object. It is in the highest degree odd that Western man, with but very few and ever fewer exceptions, apparently pays so little regard to this fact." So, let me ask you this: what would happen if you fully embraced your intuitive introverted nature? What would happen if you stopped trying to fit into a world that wasn't designed for you and started creating a world that celebrates who you are? The answers to these questions are not just personal, they are global. Because when intuitive introverts rise, they don't just change their own lives, they change the lives of everyone around them. They challenge the status quo, inspire new ways of thinking, and remind us all of what it means to be fully human. And here's the best part: this rise isn't something you have to wait for. It's already happening. It's happening every time you choose authenticity over conformity, depth over superficiality, and courage over comfort. It's happening every time you share your ideas, your insights, and your vision with the world. And it's happening every time you take a step, no matter how small, toward becoming who you truly are. So, are you ready to take that step? Are you ready to embrace the rise of the intuitive introvert and claim your place in this world? Because the time has come, and the world is waiting for you.